All right, let's go ahead and implement this visitor. So the part 9 tests are failing now. Part 10 doesn't actually have any tests. Let's see, what do we need to do? We need to fill in the accept methods. So let's go to constant expression. And here we're going to need to tell the visitor that we are visiting a constant expression. So we're going to call the visit method and pass in this. We need to do the same thing for the identifier expression. Let the visitor know that we are visiting this. And then for binary expression, things are slightly more complicated. Here we have 3 visit methods that need to be called, and we also need to pass the visitor to our children. So we're going to call previsit to say, here we are at this node for the first time. Then we're going to pass the visitor down to our child. So we'll say left child.accept the visitor. And once that's done, we will call the visit method so the visitor can do something in between the subtrees if it wants to. And then we'll pass it down to our right child. And then we're going to call post visit to tell the visitor we've dealt with both subtrees. All right, so this will pass the visitor around the tree. And now we need to fill in the PrintVisitor class. So this is going to be building up a string as we go around the tree. So let's say we want a string builder. And when we visit a constant expression, we're going to add that constant to the string. So we'll append the expression get value. When we visit an identifier, we will append that. The name of the variable is what we want in this case. And then when we're dealing with a binary expression, when we see it for the first time, we want to put in a parenthesis. And when we see it for the last time, we want to put in a parenthesis. And when we're in between the 2 subtrees, we've just processed the left sub-expression and we're about to process the right. So we want to insert the operator in between. And we're going to want a space in there too. So let's put the space, and we'll do that twice. And we're also going to append the operator. And it'll be the symbol from the operator that we want here. And then at the end, we will turn our string buffer into a string builder. And that should do the trick. Okay, so there's not a lot of code here. Mostly this is about thinking about the visitor pattern and figuring out how to break up the code. Notice that the code in our visitor has nothing to do with traversing the tree, right? There's nothing about traversing it here. We're just building up the string, which is the job of this visitor. It sort of implicitly has knowledge about the tree traversal because we're putting this code in particular visit methods that we know will be called at certain times. And then the tree traversal code is really just in our AST nodes. And the only one that really had any interesting amount of code is the binary expression node, which has children, right? But as we go forward, we'll be adding more constructs to the language that will have children, and many of those will have interesting accept methods. And those actually will get more and more complicated as we go along.